Hello, and welcome to Pisces Moon Astrology. I'm your astrologer, Kate Leonard, and I'm excited to explore the stars with you. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the astrology of August 23rd through August 29th. And you know what that means. We've got another eclipse coming up. This week, I'm going to do something a little bit different because something has happened in my life right around the time of the first eclipse last week that I want to share with you and talk to you about just a little bit, tell you how that might impact the next couple of weeks. We'll see. And then we will get into this upcoming eclipse, which is a partial lunar eclipse in Pisces on August 27th. Now, this one's important because it's the final Pisces eclipse. Okay, so it's really, really important, even though it's only a partial eclipse. So we'll get into all of that. But you know how I always say, eclipses are intense, right? Really, really intense. And I also always say, if you listen to me, you know this is true, that we generally feel them the week, sometimes 2 weeks, but for sure the week leading up to the eclipse, okay? So with that in mind, on the 8th, so yes, the day of the Lionsgate portal, I was in a pretty serious car accident. 3 cars involved, big old long nasty story. My dog was with me in the car, and that proved to be the most traumatizing bit of it. And again, I'm not going to go into all of that because it truly is still too new for me. My dog and I are fine. Yeah, but it was a lot. It was a lot. And you ask, well, I've had so many people go, you had that happen on Lionsgate Portal, the luckiest day, right? I do want to remind everyone, and I do, I always do rituals for the Lionsgate Portal and that kind of thing. But no matter what anybody tells you, it is a modern kind of holiday or whatever you want to call it, a modern special day. It does have some roots going back to the flooding of the Nile and all kinds of stuff. But as Lionsgate Portal, it's not an ancient thing. All right. So, yes, my really bad car accident happened on the day of the Lionsgate Portal. Yeah, I was pleased too. But the bigger issue is that when I tell you that the eclipses can hit hard and they are going to shove you in the direction you need to go, that's fated for you to go in. This is that place where when astrologers debate, is it fate or free will? I have to say, I think it's both. Of course, we have free will in our lives, and understanding the planetary energies helps us make use of that free will, right? Like if I know I'm having a difficult transit, maybe I'll make certain kinds of decisions so that I don't fall into whatever kind of traps that transit may predict. Okay. If I know things are really, really good for love, I may put on a little nicer lipstick or something. I don't do any of that, but you know what I'm saying. But other things like the eclipses, you will always, always, always hear of a lot of people passing into spirit around eclipses. My own father did. A good friend of mine lost a family member the same day, Lionsgate Portal, the same day that I was crashing my car. Yeah. So there's just always a lot of people leave their bodies during eclipses. And I'm not saying this stuff to make you scared. So please, please, please don't hear it that way. We're all not going to die. I'm not dead. I even had an accident. I'm not dead. But I do want you to understand that some things really are fated, right? When it's your time to go, you're going to go, The car accident for me was a real wake-up call. I may do further episodes on it. I can't talk about it a whole lot right now, but there were people around. You know how there's always a big mob of people. I don't know about your neighborhood. In my neighborhood, a big mob of people going to show up if there's an accident, right? And they did. They all showed up. And they were so kind. I don't know how to express it. My dog broke free, was running through traffic. I was hurt and I couldn't I couldn't get her. And strangers, perfect strangers, developed this whole relay system searching for her. They found her 2 miles away where I can't even, but they were angels, they were angels. And I think because of politics and so much just divisiveness in the world right now, I love I love people. I love the people I work with, but I think while I love individual people, I may have just forgotten a little bit that what we hear on the news, what we're hearing in the media, I don't care what media you listen to. I don't care if it's right-wing news, world news, YouTube, I don't care. There's a whole lot of us against them right now. And I think some of that had maybe started seeping into my consciousness. And yes, I love all the people. I love y'all. And I love working with my clients. I love people. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't like I had gone all bitter or something. But I do think that I wasn't as believing, maybe, in just the goodness of people as I used to be. After this accident, I have to say, I am humbled, I am grateful, and while I know there are some dirtbags out there, there are some bad people. Of course there are. We can't be naive, right? But most people, they are they are good. They are good. And we've got to hold on to that, especially in these times, right? Especially in these times. We've really got to remember that most people are good. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm a little too in the trauma still to be able to talk about all of it, but it was a real wake-up call for me. It was quite the wake-up call, let me tell you. I had no idea the kind of damage that an airbag can do. It was a wake-up call for sure, but I think it was one that I needed, and I'm not sure there was a gentler way. I don't think there was a gentler way. I was gonna get the message at that level. So my relationship to people, to humanity, it was never bleak. Don't get me wrong. I couldn't do the work I do if I was out hating on people. You know what I mean? It wasn't that. It was just, I don't know. I think I thought maybe that in some other bigger picture way, it was us versus them, or that other people were like that or something. And now I don't. Now I don't. Also, the eclipse was hitting me in my fourth house of home and family. And during that same exact time, I put an offer on a house, and it looks very likely I'm going to be moving up to Oregon. So, wow, right? And I think the accident happening made me made me feel like the move was more urgent, like don't put off until tomorrow, right? So it was huge. It was huge. I literally am in escrow for another house. That all happened during eclipse season, right around the time of the eclipse. I have a renewed sense of who I am in the world and my relationship to other people. And yeah, boy. And that stuff, I think that's fate. I do. I don't think that stuff was optional, I don't. So, is it fate or free will? I think it's both. Anyway, I just wanted to share my story in part because for the next couple of weeks, I'm letting myself heal. Physically, I'm fine. the burns from the airbags are scabbing up and doing, I guess, what burns do. I've never had a bad burn before, but the trauma is real. And I am giving myself the space and the grace to do what I need to do to get through it. So if I'm a couple days late posting, I didn't post last week. Yeah, because, yeah. Anyway, you get it. So anyway, if I'm a couple of days late posting, I hope that you will be understanding. And for this week, what I want to do is I'm going to try to post twice because I wanted to share with you all what was going on and just share my eclipse story. And certainly I am hoping that most of the rest of you had an easier eclipse time than I've had. And I would love it if you would reach out, share with me, how was this past eclipse? Because you know what? This episode is all about, we got another one coming up. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do the general discussion of the eclipse in this episode, and then I will post another one sign by sign, and it'll be labeled like part 2 or something, okay? So with all of that said, thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for being in my life and in my world. And again, I hope that the eclipse was kinder to you and let you learn your lesson a little bit more gently. This is another thing, y'all, why I tell you, don't fight the lessons. If you fight the lessons and it's really karmic, it's really fated, the universe is just going to hit you harder. So gosh knows how many lessons maybe I ignored, right? How many chances to learn what I was supposed to learn? How many times did I not see those opportunities? Yeah, that's all I got to say. All right, let's get into this eclipse, and then I will do the sign by sign and post it probably within a day, okay? This is a very, very big deal eclipse because it is the final eclipse in Pisces. All right, so we've been on that season because the eclipses go where the nodes go, and the nodes spend 18 months in each sign as they travel around. So we get back to Pisces when the South Node gets over there, and that'll be in about 9 years. So this is a very big deal. It's partial lunar, so that means it's a full moon. Yeah, partial lunar. Oh, well, lunar eclipses are full moon eclipses. So think of this as culmination, right? Full moon. Also, because it's the final eclipse in Pisces, it's another indication that this is about culmination. This is about finishing something up in that Pisces Virgo way, right? That's the axis, the Pisces Virgo axis. You want to find that in your chart. What houses are involved? And again, I promise I'll do the sign by sign. That'll be part 2. But I want you to listen about the eclipse. Don't learn it the hard way. Trust me. This is going to be about bringing something to closure so that you can grow in a new and fated direction. All right, why do I say that? Closure I've already discussed, but the moon is with the North Node. The North Node is expansion, increase, growing in the direction of our destiny, moving along the path toward our ultimate life's mission, destiny. It is a very, very big deal. Now, what could this involve? When we're looking at Pisces, we're looking at spirit, limitlessness. Pisces is the ocean, right? Ruled by Jupiter, expansive Jupiter. There are no boundaries. Don't sweat the small stuff. Let's go for the big spiritual picture. Yeah? The North Node is actually in Aquarius right now, just coming out of Pisces. Aquarius also asks us to look big, look out. Interestingly, think about the story I just told and about how I love the people I work with, the people in my life, all of that. But I had this sense of this nebulous, undefined society or people or something where there was all this divisiveness going on, yeah? Both Pisces and Aquarius are about looking at the big picture, looking out at the unity, at the whole. Aquarius is all about the people, right? Society, doing for the good of mankind, all of that kind of thing. But as the North Node is moving into Aquarius from Pisces, we're not supposed to just be out floating in the spiritual waters, right? This isn't about like, let me just be in my own spiritual truth. Aquarius wants us to make the world a better place. Aquarius is about the people, society, doing good for the whole, advancing society, advancing the world in some way, if that makes sense. I'm not saying that very well, but you get it. So the Pisces kind of big picture is different. It's about my soul, my spirit. And yes, it's inclusive, but in the sense of it being spiritual, where Aquarius is not about that at all. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. It's nuts and bolts. So it's still that big picture, but how can I contribute? How can I help others? How can I help the world be better? That's what Aquarius is about. So it is time for us to close down, bring to culmination this sense of the dichotomy being, Virgo, detail oriented, the administrator, and Pisces, the flowy, soul, spirit, guru kind of thing. So we've been grappling with bringing those two energies together, the Virgo and the Pisces. And it's like, okay, you all, time to be done with that. You need to have your spirituality with you, internalized, kind of in place at this point. And now it's time to get ready to move on and bring that awareness that you've developed over the last 18 months while the nodes were in Pisces and Virgo. It's time to bring that all of those skills, those lessons, that spirituality that you've now made real inside yourself, and take it out to help others. How can I serve? How can I serve? We've learned that from Virgo because Virgo is about service, right? And Aquarius is about making the world a better place somehow, taking things forward. And so it's like, what do I now, with the lessons I've learned from the past sets of eclipses, what do I now need to do to move forward? But it is going to involve letting go of just that pure, I'm just working on my own spiritual self. I'm just, yeah, that. It's going to be about bigger. So you may now be teaching spirituality. I don't mean to say in any way at all that we're no longer going to be spiritual. The idea of the nodes moving on is that now we've integrated this, right? So I've integrated my spirituality. I've made it practical and real, Virgo. I've made it practical and real in my life. Now, how do I step forward and contribute to the world in some way? That could still be a spiritual mission, but it's going to be sharing it rather than just doing that internal work that a lot of us have been doing for a while now. Does that all make sense? So I want you to look at, and I'm gonna do the sign by sign and I'll get back to you, but I want you to look at how you've been integrating or finding a balance between the Pisces house in your chart and the Virgo house in your chart. How have you been working toward balance in those two areas of life? Because now the nodes are moving on, the eclipses are moving on. We already had the first Leo eclipse. That was the one that wrecked my car. We already had the first one. So this is the end of a cycle. What do we bring to completion? What do we do so that we're fully integrating those past lessons so that we can move forward. Does that make sense? Look at Pisces and Virgo. Do you need to make any final tweaks in integrating your spirituality, your spiritual growth you've been going through, all of that? Do you need to make any final adjustments to really have that stuff anchored in you and fully integrated in your life? And then think about this past eclipse on the Leo Aquarius axis, right? How are you not needing to shine as a star just for the sake of being a star, but shine because you're doing something great in the world, right? And when I say this, don't get scared. Don't think that we all have to be, quit our jobs and go do some rescue work or save a tree or something. Do that stuff. That stuff is so cool. I hope you're all doing that stuff. But it's not that. It's just how you can be making the world better by how you do the job you do. You can be making the world better by writing about your own spiritual journey. There are a million ways that without going out, and becoming a wandering monk or something. Is that a thing? You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do that. It's in your real normal life. You just have to align in a way that you're thinking, how do I make the world better? I will tell you, coming back to my accident, which was the start of eclipse season, right? So I think it's very, very relevant. The people who crowded around me and took care of me and went out of their ways, like gave up their whole afternoon to save my dog. Those people made my world better. You know what I'm saying? Those people just doing their day in a way that wasn't focused only on them and their errands and what they needed to do. Those people, they made my world a much better place. I will tell you. So, I think I've hit my limit today. I will get back to you with the sign by sign. Value your life, value the people around you, come from love, help when you can. And like always, go out and seize the energies of the stars. This is my wish for you always. And I will talk to you in just a couple of days. I promise. Bye.